started this whole fuel fiasco. You did it. you did it. I mean, what went on with this whole situation with the fuel here at the shootout?
Unfortunately, I was the first one to be caught, or say to be a victim of what the test was exposing. So the test was actually devised by the fire marshal or the EPA so that the fumes inside the building are acceptable, so that people don't get hurt or get sick or die. So the shootout devises a test that's approved by the fire marshal, so that doesn't happen. Well, mine failed the test, but I think that somewhere along the line when they made this test, they didn't account for something in many of the fuel systems that we have. The fuel injection filters or the bladders, which the bladders bleed, the fuel lines bleed, they cause the fuel to change color, and the test involved a UV dye. Now the UV dye, they just shined a light on it and it turned a certain color. Well, if it was blue or it was green, that if it was blue it passed, or green it failed, whatever it was. Mine was on the line and they failed it. As more and more people were tested and more and more people were found to be closer to this line, the test was found that it seemed that something in that fuel system, whether the filters were filtering out the dye or the bladders were bleeding and causing the color to be different, it was found that the test maybe had some imperfections. Unfortunately, I was a victim. Unfortunately, they announced my name and told me I had to leave for the weekend. But they did make it right, and they did tell me that they did let me continue in both my classes. It was there was some stressful moments. I'm not sure if I try to conduct myself as nicely as possible, but in a situation like that, it's tricky.
Well, it's not just you. It's you got the business in the sport. I mean, you got the name, you got the reputation.
See it would have been very bad for the business for me to be labeled a cheater. But like I say, it wasn't a performance additive. It was a health issue that it failed for. And if the shootout gets shut down for a health issue, well, the Chili Bowl's in danger. All these people and all the money that comes for the shootout and the Chili Bowl is also in danger. So if I would have had to take that one on the cheek, I understand what it is, because this event is great for my business. It's great for all the businesses that are here, all the chassis manufacturers and the fuel system manufacturers, and everyone who builds everything. And for me to come back, if I would have had been disqualified for one class to be able to come back next year, it would have been worth it for me. I think that I would hope that everyone else would have felt the same way. And it was also really cool that when I was the only person that was found with the wrong fuel, there was many people draining their tanks, which told me that they trusted me, and that made me feel really good. So I think that sort of made the business actually look good. And although it was a negative thing, I think in the end, for me, I gained some friends. I talked to a lot of people about it, and maybe it wasn't such a negative thing in the end.
Well, I mean, you always have a good piece when you come to the track too. So it's like most people are probably like, why would he need to put anything in there? He's got the top of the top.
Well, and that's the thing. When we came here, they said we are fuel testing. So, for what reason would I do anything? It's not like they surprised me with a fuel test. I knew it was going to happen. Everyone knew it was going to happen, and they do it every year. So they did it a little different this year. But quite honestly, I didn't even know that they were doing it different. I just knew that when I showed up, my tank needed to be empty, and it was. And we ran X amount of practice sessions and poured a bunch of fuel on top of their fuel. It was interesting that a lot of people at that point, it created a mass panic. There was a line of 30 people getting their fuel tested. There's water bottles with fuel in it, people taking them up there and getting them tested, just so that they wanted to be legal. And the fact that all of that happened, like I said, was actually kind of a big compliment to me, just because it makes me seem like they must have thought that I was trustworthy enough that there was no way that was the case, and